Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and today I've got another Star Wars The Black Series unboxing, and this time it is the Gaming Greats Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Cal Kestis.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
Okay, well here is the Gaming Greats Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order unboxed, and as you can see there, I've attached the BD1 with the variant colour or skin, whatever you want to call it, already attached to the back of this getup. Now it's a little bit fiddly to try and get him into a position where it actually looks, all right. It's a little bit weird to sort of get your head around at first. There are a few bits and pieces about this figure that are a little bit sort of fiddly to try and get your head around, but generally it's a nice little addition if you're a big fan of the game and you're particularly interested in the customization options with the characters get up and the poncho and like BD1 or whatever. It's good to have this sort of variation, I think. From what I've noticed so far, when looking at the original release figure, the head sculpt is exactly the same. That's the one thing to note here. Head sculpt is exactly the same, and there are a few other bits and pieces which are pretty similar as well. But I'm just taking BD1 off there without saying anything. But yeah, I've just taken them off. So yeah, this is obviously all yellow, whereas the other figure was pretty much blue and browns mixed in together. And of course, you do get this extra poncho sort of get up. There's a little hood which comes already attached, which is like the pre-hood that you put up or whatever, and that just slots into the back of the figure itself. Where if you're using it, I probably won't. I'm probably going to leave this off because it's a bit, I don't know, just like it doesn't sit very well. I'll just show you again. It doesn't really sit very well, and like I said, you've got to try and slot it in, and it comes off pretty easily. There. I mean, that looks alright, to be fair now. But yeah, if you knock it, there you go. It just comes loose very quickly. So that'll be one for me where it just goes in the extra baggage box or whatever. But like I said, this figure is pretty good. The head sculpt is pretty much exactly the same. They've not made any changes to the head sculpt at all, even down to the hair, where the hair sits. It's all pretty much exactly the same as it was. Poncho, it might come off with a bit of fiddling. In fact, I'm pretty sure it can come off if you really wanted it to, but you'd have to fiddle around with it yourself. I'm not going to do that here. But there's not really much to note underneath the poncho. It is just basically the poncho itself, which has the detail, the arms and the legs here. Whereas on the previous figure, it didn't have a poncho. It just had like the outer sort of garment, jacket, vest thing, which I'll show you in a moment as part of a comparison. But overall, this figure is pretty good if you're a big fan of the game, like I said. Just look at all those lovely details there on the arm. Implements on the belt there as well. Look like some pliers that he's got in his pocket there. Little belt hook. All these little additional features on this figure that weren't really, although they were, yeah, I'm just looking there, they were prevalent on the previous figure. Probably just a little bit of extra detail. There you go, you see you've got something on the back there. Slightly different colour that. From what it is on the other figure. There's like a wrench there as well. Boots are pretty much exactly the same. In fact, they are totally the same. The brown sort of ankle strap there. So yeah, it is pretty much a repaint, if you want to say. But there's a little bit of extra details, like I said, the poncho and the extras that you get with it. So I think if you are a big fan of the game, which I was, it is a really good figure if you want to pick that up to mix and match if you're doing some photography or things like that. Really recommend it, I think, purely based on that, because it gives you so many different options. But we'll just have a quick run through of the extras you get with it. Just get him out of the way. Like I said, there is a BD1 here. There he is. variant color. Well, there were loads of variant colors that you could collect throughout the entirety of the game. Blues. I think I just ended up sticking with the base color and the first poncho you pick up as well. I went pretty much level to level, getting all the secrets as best I could, and I ended up sticking with the first thing you came across pretty much. But yeah, so there is BD1 in this lovely crimson sort of color. The detailing on it is pretty good, just as it was with the original figure. Still got that yellow wiring there. And just to hammer home that fact, I will just plonk him down here in a second. Just grab the original variant. And there it is. You can see there. Very little in the way of actual difference, bar that little, you know, colorization. This version obviously got a little bit more in terms of sort of like different colors around the eyepiece. Obviously there it seems to be more metallic, more silvery. So yeah, an interesting thing. I mean, if anything, you know, if you're one of them that does populate pictures with droids or whatever, anything like that, if you're a collector that likes to, you know, set up dioramas and things, this extra little droid would be perfect for that. You know, if you've already got one of these, you've got another droid in your army building disposal, if you like. So again, nice little addition there. Obviously, part and parcel of the lore, part and parcel of the character with Cal Kestis. And not only that, but you do also get this little bogling as well. So this kind of is the creature that you see on the first planet that you go to, and you end up adopting one if you follow that story, that side quest. You end up adopting one that follows you on the ship and ends up just flittering around the ship, hiding in corners and hiding under beds and. Okay, sorry about that. A little bit of a technical issue with the camera. I think my computer's getting a bit on in terms of age, so that's something I need to look at. Brilliant. But as I was saying, nice little figure, this little bogling figure that you do pick up in the game if you follow that story path. I think I was alluding to that, you know, this is great for, you know, scene building. Great little figure to include, you know, in your backgrounds or anything like that, if you're shelving displays or your dioramas that you're creating or photography that you're doing. Great little, great little addition. This figure represents, like I was saying, I think the reflection in the eyes there is just really good. I like the detailing on this figure, the tail, the mane around the neck. Really good. It's the kind of stuff that I want to see more in Hasbro Black Series products. You know, these little extra additions that you get with them, because you get them in the Marvel Legends figures. You know, you get bits and pieces that build towards a bigger figure. Why not get little, you know, additions like this? You know, in your Star Wars Black Series figure packs. You know, little things like this, little creatures, little extra Star Wars creatures, maybe even like a smaller droid or something like that. You know, little things like that. But anyway, moving on, because I'm not sure how much I actually talked about this figure before the camera decided to have a heart attack. So, moving on, I think I went on next to this Jedi Holocron. And I really like this because you can see that light passing through it, which is really good. I like that light passing through there. And again, this is another little addition that you can use for any figures, you know, any Jedi figures, Sith figures, anything you want. Just a little bit of extra scene building. Really good little addition here. Just adds to the value in terms of that pricing that you're paying. Moving on from here, because again, there's not much to talk about. It's just a nice little piece. Doesn't really do anything else. It's just a static piece here. Moving on, do have two different lightsabers, and first you get this one. You get with in the start of the game. Obviously, it's the damaged lightsaber from Cal's master. As you can see there, a bit of damaging there at the end, where the pommel is. This saber, a little bit bent, actually. It was like that when it came out of the pack, so I might have to use the warming technique to remold that slightly. But again, blue saber, obviously, is what you start with in the game. But as per the game, you can change the kyber crystal to change the color, and you can modify the saber hilt to any design you want. And they've reflected that here with this double-bladed variant with green blades. So obviously the kyber crystal is green in this. Double-bladed, so you do get the option to pick up a double-bladed saber through the game. You don't necessarily have to use it, but the option is there. And it just adds that extra bit of dynamic to the character. So towards the end game, you reforge it all together properly, and you can choose what it looks like. Obviously, this is the base variant from in the game, but obviously the kyber crystal is different. And wonderfully, I think you can, at least I hope you can, take the blades out so you can put your own different color in. Maybe you can't actually. Usually you can pop the blade out and put a different color in. That's something I'd have to look at. Oh, it does. It does. Look at that. It's a little thing at the end there that you can connect it to. So if you wanted to, you can just take that off and display it as the hilt. Obviously, should we go crazy? Let's put the blue in with the green. And there you go. You can fiddle around with that for display or whatever you want to do. If you want to put this saber with Grievous or something like that, you can do that. Doesn't necessarily have to be displayed with Cal. It's the good thing about this. These little extras you get given. This is what I want to see more of, like I said, in these figures. That is it for all the extras you get with this figure in particular. And obviously, here he is. And here is the original variant. And just by looking at that, as you can tell, the head sculpt is pretty much exactly the same between the two. Hair sculpting is exactly the same. It is just literally the aesthetics from one to the other, but just that little bit different in terms of the colouring and the poncho here on display. But obviously, you know, like I said, if you're a fan of this particular figure, if you're a fan of this game, you know, it's good to have these little options available, I think. But there you go. That is going to be it for this video. Apologies for the technical issues. It's an aging computer and a camera that's not really up to scratch, I think. But we will get through, won't we? Just one of them. But there you go. There is the Cal Kestis Gaming Greats figure. I'm going to leave that video right there. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. See you on the next one. Bye.